welcome to the show. We are here on GTA 5 starting this week's FailRace episode with Ewan playing around with a bulldozer. You see, when you continually ram into a bulldozer with a ramp truck, sometimes physics might get a little bit confused and decide that said bulldozer should do a merry little dance across the road. That's the very unhappy bulldozer, I can tell you that much. That's a really well, I say that maybe it's very excited. I don't know. It's doing things a bulldozer probably shouldn't be doing at surprisingly alarming speeds. I mean, the boss, I think it was a Sultan. I think it might once have been a Sultan that's been crushed by the bulldozer as it's spinning around. I think the truck actually launched a van and the bulldozer managed to catch it and bat it out of the air. It's continuing to go. It does eventually come to a stop when it falls onto its side. iDefects on Forza Horizon 4 is racing a team adventure. I think it's against the AIs. And, well, a laggy AI Aston Martin would decide that the player car should miss the checkpoint. I mean, you couldn't do that one better if you tried, really. It's managing to ping an opposition car away from the checkpoint. It's less than ideal. Sometimes worse being an AI. Kogi on Downtown Run loses, or as I spins the Beetle on, I would presume, a spike strip. As getting going again, an AI car comes flying past. They nick the back of that sends it into a roll. Okay, fair enough. The thing is, it doesn't really stop. It's rolled around a corner and is now continuing to roll down a straight. That's quite an impressive feat. You don't see that very often. I've done a lot of these episodes. Don't see that all that often, certainly. I like the round the corner and carry on rolling. Next and up next on Beam NG Drive, playing around with the AI cars, doesn't quite realise the one ahead has slowed down as much as it has going down a hill. Plonks into it, bounces off a banking, decides the best way to deal with the estate car is to, well, climb over it before skidding along on the roof and coming to a halt. Yes, AI traffic can be interesting. Climbing over it is an option, not normally the best option. Ed's bed is also on Beam, having fun and games with the AI traffic. It's their random lane changing that is getting the better of this particular one. He's going to try and avoid a pickup truck. There's not much space. Clips the hopper off of the curve as a big two-wheel moment, manages to buckle all the roof with it, but gets away. Amazingly, without bent wheels. That's quite lucky. The AI are dangerous on there. Leathercap is up next on Mud Runner. Now, they're trying to rescue a friend who, as you can see in the background, has got stuck. The problem is, to get there, they've got to try and winch their way backwards, which is okay if you're not got a trailer. The problem is the trailer is not really all that cooperative. You've got to be very careful that you don't jackknife the trailer, because that's likely to cause problems. And, well, have a guess what might happen as the trailer goes into a little bit of a ditch. Physics gets very angry. The Volvo rolls around before tumbling off the road and landing quite well parked next to the vehicle they were trying to rescue. Yeah. Things have not gone well there. Things have not gone well there. This is from the perspective of the car that was stuck on its side. You don't see the tow ropes, of course, in this one, but yeah, you can kind of get a better angle of this. As the vehicle's going backwards, the trailer goes down a dip, the Volvo climbs over it, Physics has a panic and decides the best way to resolve this is spin everything around, throw it in the air, and when it lands, it ends up rolling down the hill. I feel like the only way it would have gone better is if the Volvo rolling down the hill had hit the car we're following here and knocked it onto its wheels. I feel like that would have been the perfect ending to that. As it is, it's still quite a good ending with them now both stuck on their sides. Rickard on Wreckfest carries too much speed on this particular mod circuit, gets a big two-wheeled moment and pins an AI car. Like properly pins an AI car. Yeah, clips the banking, can't get stopped when it's on its side, cartwheels across before anchoring itself into the bed of a pickup truck. No one's going anywhere from that. G-Racer X up next on R-Factor 2. This is an AI car getting things wrong in a braking zone. Ends up struggling to get stopped, clips the wall, loses a wheel, and then everybody else piles into the mess. No one quite knowing what to do. Now, a couple of the Datsuns further back managed to sort of sneak their way past, but the Nissans are very well wedged into this. And as the more cars join this, the worse it gets. We now have a proper track blocking accident. Now, I think the car that lost a wheel is now immobile, essentially, as everyone's busy trying to find a way past. They do, surprisingly, in some ways, manage to get it to work. They get most of the cars free. A couple are stuck in this crash, but most of them made it out, which is surprising. It took a bit of time, but there we go. Clio Play up next on NASCAR 2003. You know there are going to be big crashes on this game. Now, this was on board the player car as all the mayhem goes on outside. Now, the player gets pretty lucky in all of this. A few cars up ahead made it through as well. Player gets away, bumps the wall, bumps the car ahead, but does avoid the worst of it, and it was a big one. This AI's up ahead, 4 wide, doesn't fit. Just didn't work. The car on the bottom does kind of draw alongside. The problem is it gets connected with the 9. They both go straight up the hill into the next 2, and that launches cars across the track, and a good 3/4 of the field are involved in that one, either upside down, heavily broken, spinning around. That's a very big crash. That is a very, very big crash indeed, and a large portion of the field are out. This is on board one of the cars that scooped up the 88 as a massive hit on this poor car. Sends the 88 flying before being stuck in the middle of all the mess and ends up, quite fittingly, on its roof with a broken camera. And finally, we have Liam on Project Cars 2 racing at the Nurburgring with the 911 GT1 car. Now, up ahead, well, things have started to go wrong. The player is able to slow down, and the AI have had a very, very big shunt. Not only is something pointing the wrong way climbing over a Porsche, as we approach a sudden explosion of cars. Is one way to clear the blockage of AI cars, but I don't know what happened. I've seen track blockages on Project Cars, it happens, but I don't know what went on to cause the clearing part of this. Just physics has decided, you know what, I've had enough. There are too many cars here, let's redistribute them around the Nürburgring in virtue of airtime. I don't know, I think some cars are long gone as well from all of this. The McLaren did a backflip, and weirdness. Lots of weirdness went on there. Quite impressive, mind, I will give it that. Probably the most impressive Project Cars 2 shenanigans I've seen for quite some time. That, though, is going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description. At the very top of the page is the FailRace clip submission section, and in there you can find all the rules and how to submit them. However, that is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.